Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the FordTechMakuloco channel. Today we have a 2012 F-150 3.5 liter Ecoboost that has a misfire on cylinder number 2. Now the customer has already changed coils and plugs a few months ago, they say. I don't know what brand they were, what they were gapped to, anything like that, but it's only a few months ago, so it should be okay, unless they're really cheap aftermarket pieces. And it fixed it for a while. Okay, a couple months went by, everything's great, but now he has a misfire on cylinder number 2 again, to the point where he's feeling it constantly and he can't drive it anymore. So today we're going to go through some diagnostics, mainly scan tool diagnostics, a few visual inspections. We're going to figure it out pretty darn quick. You guys will see, if you follow my approach, when you have a problem like this, if you have a decent scan tool for any of these newer vehicles like this, you're going to need one. A few bits of data, some knowledge, and you can figure it out real quick. All right, first things first, let's take a look at some preliminary data. So as you can see right here, the vehicle only has about 64,000 miles on it. So concerned, since he changed ignition components already and it's back, that it might be a base engine issue here. You know, these Ecoboost engines are hard on the plugs, so around 60,000 miles, you gotta change them. But the fact that it's back a few months later is worrisome. Might be base engine. So the first thing you want to do in a situation in general, and what I'm going to do here, is you want to look at the mode 6 data. And that'll give you a lot of history data for the last drive cycles on the vehicle. So it'll store values for what it's seeing in here before they become bad enough to meet criteria to set an actual DTC. So you can have misfires, recorded misfires, and still not throw a code because they're just not meeting the criteria to set a DTC yet. So if you scroll down through mode 6 data on here, towards the bottom on the scan tool, you can get all kinds of detailed misfire data for each one of the cylinders on here. Look at that, a general one, and then for each individual cylinder. So this will record data on here for misfire counts, and you can get a good idea what cylinder's acting up in the past or not. These should all be 0. So let me scroll down a little bit here, and I'll bring you guys in. There we go. So this first column right here is the minimum value for that PID, and then the second one here is the max. And this final column here is our actual value. So you can see, what is it? That's cylinder 1 right there. Has 0, which is what it should be. Regular functioning vehicle should have 0. Whereas the second one there is cylinder 2, it's 28 counts. And then 1 count on 3 cylinders that are close to each other can be affected in there. So go after the cylinder with the crazy amount of issues, like you see here, the bigger problem. And then you just keep going down from there, and you can see the other cylinders are, of course, at 0. So obviously we need to concentrate on cylinder 2, and then cylinder 3 maybe, but you need to concentrate on cylinder 2 first because they're adjoining, and it can pick it up on there. So we're going to go ahead, and next thing we're going to do is we're just going to pull codes on the PCM. And the reason being is you want to check for codes that may be related to the primary side of that ignition coil, and of course any misfire DTCs that may be set in here. And this is all just, clues and little pieces of information you want to get and gather along the way as we diagnose this. Now, even if the customer didn't know it was cylinder 2 over and over again, we would have gotten this information right from the mode 6 data, whereas the DTCs aren't telling us anything. Now, the best tool for Fords for any kind of misfires that are caused by fuel, mechanical, or secondary ignition is power balance. You want to use power balance on there. It's such a great tool. All manufacturers should have this. So this will literally give us basically the power output of each cylinder and how it compares to the other cylinders on the engine. So we'll go ahead and get started up and check it out. I'll let it load here. There we go. Okay, so clear it. Okay, so now it's stabilizing. So you see how it's moving around a little bit like that? It's not a perfectly flat line. That's perfectly normal. No cylinder is perfect. No fuel injection is perfect. No gap is perfect. And there's, you know, stretching the chain a little bit here and there. So it's going to be just like this. This is perfectly normal, especially once the engine comes down, it kind of stabilizes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go for a drive, and we're going to try to load up the engine by either brake torquing it or driving under a heavy load, and we're going to see if we get a dropout on any of these cylinders, but especially number 2. When there's a dropout, it'll be a deep V in there, and you'll see it's 25 generally or lower. A lot of times it's a full deep V, you know, 75, 50 on there. So real quick, you can simulate it by brake torquing the engine. Put it in drive, make sure your foot's in the brake, and we can try to simulate it. Not doing it before it breaks torque. Okay, so at this point, we're just gonna go for a little drive here. All right, we're out on a nice country road. Let's try to get to do it. Did it a little bit there. See it? You get to a higher gear, then give it a little bit, and that'll push the secondary ignition system. Oh, the whole truck's vibrating real bad right now. And there it goes, it's flashing, which means there's a Class A misfire happening. Yeah, that's pretty bad. You can see it's a deep V on there, especially on cylinder number 2. That's the bad boy right there. So we have our information. We know it's a Class A misfire, Class A, Class B, doesn't matter. And that there's a real problem with the secondary ignition on that cylinder. Now, once you have a flashing check engine light like that, and you let off, okay, we're not even on the throttle, we're just kind of idling, okay? You're like, why is the misfire not gone? The PCM's trying to protect the catalyst by disabling the fuel injector on that cylinder. So right there, I was idling, I was turning around, it was a real problem. I tried to give it a little bit of gas, and the thing just misfired like crazy. We're not even loading it up anymore. What's going on? The PCM cut the fuel injector off, and it's protecting that the catalyst. So now I hit it, and I can cruise once again. You can see there's no misfires. So we know it's secondary ignition misfire, and we know it's bad enough that we need to go ahead and take a look at it, and it's secondary ignition. It's pretty simple. We just figured it out. It's secondary ignition, coil or plug. So let's go back and pull the plug out and see the condition of it. Okay, now with the engine cooled down a little bit, we can go ahead and pull the coil and plug from number 2 and see what's going on here. Quick note on these coils. The factory coils on these engines are very, very reliable. Ford's coil quality issues and cracking and misfiring from heat cycles is long gone. These newer vehicles, like the 3.5, 3.7, even the newer 4-cylinders, the coil part right here is much, much bigger, so they're very, very reliable. I've never seen one of these actually fail. 99% of the time, it's the plug, so you want to go after the plug. Do not change them all out to aftermarket like this, even with a decent brand like MSD, because these can have long-term reliability issues, and you introduce new problems to your engine that you wouldn't have had if you would have just kept the frickin' Ford coils on there, which can be very frustrating. So unless you absolutely know that coil has failed, do not replace them. Keep the Ford ones on there. They're very reliable. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this back on here, a safety clip, and we're just gonna pull this coil off and see what's going on. I'll show you guys everything you need to know what to look for when you pull something like this apart. Okay, let's go ahead. You wanna inspect each component because this can give you a lot of information about what's going on here. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this up. These generally get pretty stuck in there, but these are new. So you pull the coil out, of course these are new, okay, but they're aftermarket. What you want to look at is the inside of the boot there. You can see all those lines in there. That's from the grease, from the factory, from MSD. But you want to look for any kind of white streaking in there, white marks in there, any kind of weird jagged lines in there that would indicate that there's carbon tracking issues going on. So you can learn a lot from just inspecting this before you ever start pulling that plug out of there. So on this one, I can see the lines, but I'm kind of seeing a jagged mark right here, and there's another section too that I'm seeing. There's jagged marks in there, like burn marks almost, from possible carbon tracking. And this just could be an issue with misinstallation. You can see how this hose comes out right here, and it makes you kind of move your extension over, you see? So when you're installing the plug, naturally you side load the plug and you can crack the porcelain on there. So this might be just a cracked porcelain issue causing carbon tracking. So let's go ahead and pull it out and check it out. Now these cylinders, these spark plug wells, generally are pretty darn clean. The boots on there are very extensive. That's why they're so hard to get off. So you generally don't need air when you're pulling these out. I can hear they're dry. It's dry. No anti-seize. Which, let's not get into that subject. Alright, so it's coming out. It's pretty darn dry for just a few months ago, but okay. Let's see what kind of plugs are in there. So, sure enough, the condition of the plug is the first thing you want to look at. So there we go. You want to look at the condition of the plug. Nice and clean, okay? Really nice and clean. You see this like tan color right here? You're eventually going to see that all over the porcelain in here after many miles. That is perfectly normal. No ash buildup, no black soot buildup. There's no any kind of ash building up on here causing a misfire. There's no oil. I don't see any fuel soaking in here that would foul the plug. So it looks like everything in the cylinder is good to go as far as fueling and any kind of base engine concerns that would cause it to foul out. Okay, so everything there looks good. The gap, gotta inspect that, looks good. Let's look at the brand. It's a Ford brand, okay. So let's look for any kind of carbon tracking on here and see what's going on. Okay, so the porcelain, of course, is white, so this is the best way, the easiest way for you to actually get in here and figure out what's going on. So everything on here looks good to go. I see a little bit right here from the boot. Let's go ahead and clean this up and check it out. All right, so everything with this plug looks good to go. Gap, everything. You can see it's the new style SP580 plugs. But, you know, those had some issues, but I don't think that's it. Porcelain looks good. Everything looks good. So we're going to pop this back into there and tighten it down. And we're going to swap coils. That's the very next thing you want to do. That's the easiest thing to do. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this back down in here. And just swap coils. And we're going to load test it again and see if it follows or not. Because I'm not seeing anything wrong with that plug at all. I have seen before on engines, weird stuff. Maybe you can't see stuff. You know, issues of plugs that look just fine, and you go put a new one in there and the concern's gone. All right, so let's go ahead and swap these coils out. So we're simply gonna swap it over. Cylinder 1 had no issues. Okay, make sure it's seated in there. And the same thing over here. So the one with the dot on it right there is the one that is an issue, we think. Okay, here we go. All right, everything's back together. The coils are swapped, so the bad suspect coil is now on cylinder 1. So we're gonna go for another drive, the power balance here, and see if we're getting a deep V over here now, and more importantly, that cylinder 2 is A-OK. Let's go ahead and drive and load it up, same as before. Let you guys see. Oh, man. Okay. So, sure enough, cylinder 2 was good to go. No dropouts. Cylinder 1 now, that had no issues before, is dropping out like crazy under load. So, yeah, I just, confirmed what I was telling you, warning you guys about. Don't go aftermarket unless you absolutely have to. And don't just go changing them all out things that's going to fix issues. It can cause new issues like you're seeing here. So now I have to go buy a Ford coil and whatever that's going to cost. Plus diagnosis and labor. Yeah. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Load it up. Oh, it's misfiring just as bad as before. But now it's cylinder 1. Wow. Everything else is A-OK. Okay, cool. So we figured it out. Of course, it was the coil, and it moved and it fouled. So the misfire fouled from here to here by moving the coil. You put the original plug back in. So let's go ahead and take it off, see if there's anything visual on there. A lot of times it's internal. Like I said, these things have quality control issues, either early on failures, out of the box failures, or just longevity issues, you know, reliability issues in general. So just take it off. We'll pull the boot and just take a look at the tip. Be a spring issue, could be all kinds of issues inside of here. So everything looks pretty good on here. Maybe the spring is the issue inside of here. It's not transferring from that center part right there on out. I don't know. I see marks in here. It looks like it was carbon tracking, but we didn't see any on the plug. There's 2 spots right there. Otherwise, it looks fine. So it could be just something in the spring as part of it on there. Either way, like I said, these coils, they have reliability issues. So you're better off just to get rid of them, use Ford, and be done. So once the customer found out that one of his new MSD coils was already failing, he elected to just replace them with Ford units. And man, look how smooth that is on there. The real test here is to punch it. And look at that. Nice and even all the way across, no dropouts. Sure enough.